Hey, so how are you coming along with your vocabulary enrichment? You know, the key to your success in English isn't with endless grammar exercises, although maybe they'll help a little. The real secret is the words, it's the vocabulary. A rich vocabulary enriches your writing, it enriches your speaking, it enriches your comprehension. Each week, you're going to learn 3 new words that are part of the bands that are required for the Module G exam. In addition to the 3 main focus words each week, you're going to be getting additional synonyms and antonyms that are going to further enrich your vocabulary. Those are the words that are going to help you speak and write in an interesting and engaging way, because you're not going to be using the same words over and over again. Each session, you'll have slides which focus on those 3 words. Each time I tell you to pause, you should pause and try and guess what the translation is, what the definition is, and to think of a sentence that you could use for it. You'll have a Quizlet that's going to focus on all of the words that I'm presenting here, and then you'll be asked to fill in a Google form that'll help you further practice with these words. And then in the end, you're going to get a picture that hopefully will be interesting enough to spark your imagination so that you can write using the words that you learned this week about the picture. The more you write, the more you'll improve. So what are you waiting for? Let's ace those bands. Are you ready for week 3, lesson number 3 of Acing Band 3? Let's jump right into it. First word is normally. It's an adverb. Definition: when something happens on a regular basis. How would you translate that? Bederach klal. A synonym. Can you think of a synonym, a word that means the same as normally? Could use generally or usually or regularly. Something that happens regularly is something that happens normally. What about an antonym, a word that means the opposite? Stop for a second and try and think of a word that you know that means the opposite of normally. Somewhat, rarely. This was a hard one. We normally go to school. It doesn't really work with somewhat. But we rarely go to school could be the opposite of normally. Sometimes somewhat is an opposite of it, an antonym. Depends on the situation. I'm sure you'll be able to figure it out. Here's a sentence that I wrote. We normally go to school to learn, but these days we learn from home. What about your sentence? Click the pause button. Write your sentence in the Google form. Remember, a sentence that shows me that you understand how to use the word. Word number 2 for this week is contradict, and it is a verb. It means to deny or to say the opposite. Don't contradict me when I say something. Translation: listor. What about a synonym? Can you think of a synonym for the word contradict? Another word that means the same thing. Oppose. Like the word opposite, it's the same root. What about an antonym? Agree. To agree with someone as opposed to contradict with someone. Okay, sentence. My sentence for this word is: there are many opinions about the solution, some of which contradict each other. What about your sentence? Pause the video, write your sentence in the Google form, and then continue. Last word for this week, absolute, and it is an adjective. It means something that is definite without any exceptions. He is an absolute idiot. Okay, that's not a nice sentence to say. I wouldn't say that about anybody. He is an absolute genius. There's no 2 ways about it. Translation: shalem or lachalutin. A synonym. Can you think of a synonym? Something that means the same thing, a word that means the same thing as absolute. Complete. He's a complete genius. He made a complete fool of himself. He made an absolute fool of himself. Antonym. Word that means the opposite. In part or partial. My sentence, the chocolate cake was absolute perfection. Write your sentence in the Google form that shows me that you know how to use the adjective absolute. Then get on with the work. See you next time.